Hello and welcome along people to another one of my videos. My name is Mert Walsh. Welcome to East Kirkby, home to Just Jane. Tonight is bike night and a very special evening for Sally Kins and myself because we are going on board Just Jane for a taxi ride. Join me after the intro for bike night at East Kirkby. Sally absolutely loves these. Why do you love this plane so much? Because it's just the shape of it. There's nothing specially, there's no special story.
I just think it's beautiful and it's light wooden frame and went like the difference.
And the aircraft in question is obviously a de Havilland Mosquito NF-11.
So they're restoring this one, aren't they?
Oh yes, she taxi rides.
As well?
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
Now, while the Nazis were running around the place looking for metal to make their war machine, de Havilland came up with a very ingenious idea of making this aircraft out of wood. Whilst a lot of people frowned at the idea, it made the aircraft lightweight, durable, and almost undetectable to enemy radar. Like Sally just pointed out, they do taxi rides in this one as well as Just Jane, although this one's a little bit more expensive. Now this beauty right down the back of the hangar is a Mitchell. This aircraft was manufactured by Boeing, the North American B-25J Mitchell 44-29366. Its wingspan was 67 feet 7 inches. The overall length of the aircraft was 53 feet 5 inches, and its weight was 21,100 pounds.
So all of these bike nights that they run here, the raffles, the museum and everything, all of the funds go to the restoration and the restoration of the Lancaster, which is fantastic. Speaking to one of the engineers who used to work at Coningsby on the City of Lincoln, they are restoring the part of the aircraft behind me here. And he said that there was 1,500 motorcycles at the last bike night in June.
Of the fuselage that I'm kind of pointing the camera at, and I shall zoom in down there, is actually the nose off of a Lancaster, but it's upside down. So then that's not off of Just Jane, but it will go onto Just Jane, and then they will refurb Just Jane's nose. So they kind of have to do the job twice. And then this section of wing here, there, that's also off of a Lancaster. That'll be refurbed, put onto Just Jane, and then they'll take Just Jane's wing off and they'll refurb it. I think that's excellent. But like I say, they have to do the job twice. You can see the green bits amongst all of the red. That is actually the tail section of the fuselage. And on the table here is actually part of the door. So that part there fits inside this part here, and that is a new part that they've manufactured, fabricated. And I'll go on there. I just thought it's kind of interesting.
Hopefully you enjoyed my tour of the restoration hangar, and now it's nearly time for Sally and I to get on board for our taxi ride. But before we do, here is some specifications of Just Jane. The bomb load carrying capacity ranged from £18,000 with a maximum of £22,000. The wingspan is 102 feet, and the length of the aircraft is 69 feet 4 inches. The wing area is 1,300 square feet. The tare weight is 37,330 pounds. The maximum speed is 275 miles per hour at 15,000 feet, and the cruising speed would have been 200 miles per hour at 15,000 feet. The range of the aircraft was 1,550 miles with bombs. The service ceiling was 25,000 feet, and the climb rate was 250 feet per minute.
The doors of the mount are open. Fence. We've had our safety briefing. Basically, don't bang your head, don't break the airplane. But I was as close to this airplane earlier on today, but there was a little tiny piece of rope between me and it, and all of a sudden it feels completely different. And the fact that we're going to go onto it in a minute is just bloody amazing.
The engine starts normally. You shouldn't see much in the way of flames coming out of the exhaust. It just depends if they've overprimed them or not. But this morning we did get some fairly impressive flames.
There were some good ones,
yes,
weren't there? Yeah.
So if you see that, don't worry, it's perfectly normal. If you see the fire engines approaching, that's not normal. That's a whole different kettle of fish, but we'll worry about that if it happens. Once we've done that and got started, we'll get underway. We'll trundle around the field a couple of times. We'll go down past the crowd line, wave to people, and then with the way the wind is, we'll do a high noise run into wind. So we'll go down to the bottom end where the caravans are, turn around, point up the field. We're set about 2,000 RPM, which is about the power that they would have had on in the cruise. For takeoff, normally around about 3,100 RPM, but you'll get the effect. And we'll get a bit of acceleration out of it. We'll trundle down the grass for a bit until either I or the engineer chicken out, and we'll close the throttle. Depending on how the time's doing, we might go back around another couple of times. We'll come back in, we'll point in towards the area that you can see off to your right at the moment, and then we'll just exercise the constant speed units on the engine, so we're actually just getting the oil out of the pitch change mechanism, but we'll run the engines at about 1800 RPM, operate the RPM lever, so you hear the engine note changing as the blade angle coarsens off and fines off, so we're just getting all the oil out of the pitch change mechanism back into the engine, so the pitch change mechanism uses engine oil to operate, so it's a hydraulic system effectively, and then once we've done that, we'll be shutting down where we are here. So,
All right then, gentlemen, I need a willing volunteer. Who's that going to be?
Depends what you wanted to do.
Oh, Mert's got his hand up. He's got for it.
Okay.
Right, sir, you're going to teach everyone how to get in and out the rear turret. Now he's
Okay.
not so happy, is he? He's quick in there.
This is the rear turret. I'm in it, and I was the guinea pig, but my knees are literally right up against the front part. I can't get any further in. It's bloody amazing. I don't know how long I've got in here, but this is just
Mert would be in
wow.
the turret anywhere between 6 to 11 hours at a time, depending
Wow,
on the mission.
6 to 11 hours at a time you could be in
First man
here.
off the ground, last man down. Only being allowed out on 3 occasions, and when I let you, Mert. Okay.
Okay, I'm listening.
Number 1, we all make it back in time for breakfast.
Right.
Number 2.
This was probably the part of the evening that I was going to be most worried about. Climbing over the spar to go forward in the airplane. Our guide did say that the Lancaster is effectively a reverse TARDIS. Massive from the outside, but it is so cramped when you're inside. It's going to be interesting for me to get over.
That was interesting.
yeah, whether you've managed to get him out of the seat or not,
Wow.
I'm not sure. So what they used to do, sorry, keep recording. So
Engine
what
out
they
there.
would do is a lot of the time, the flight engineers were.
Now this might come as a surprise, but I'm too tall to be a Lancaster pilot as well. Anyway, I looked out the window, took this photograph. Look how many people there are. I mean, there's thousands, literally thousands of people outside for bike night. What a fantastic turnout.
So I'm in the nose, right up front in the nose at the moment, and I smacked my head twice getting in here, so no idea how I'm going to get out. My position when we're taxiing is standing up in the cockpit, and there is literally just about enough room for me to stand up. Can't wait for the engines to start up. I haven't videoed much of what the people are telling us, because if I'm honest, I'm trying to just live in the moment and listen to what they're telling us. Fascinating. Yeah, it's quite fascinating. I don't know how a bomb aimer would. I just smacked my head off the seat. Oh God. quick pan shot. There is all of the crowds, and pretty much that is, as far as the eye can see, that's all motorcycles. And around over to my left, as far as you can see, that's motorbikes. And just where the sun is, directly over there behind the trees, there's even more motorbikes, all parked up, especially for tonight.
Because I couldn't be inside and outside the aircraft at the same time, I videoed the earlier taxi ride earlier in the day to give you shots from inside and out.
Today's first taxi ride is about to get underway. So they will start the engines and then hopefully taxi off to our right and out onto the grass airfield and do a little display. Right, so there's ground power underneath the left-hand side, so underneath the port wheel. You just see the small wheel beside the landing gear, and they're switching on the ground power so the aircraft has electricity to be able to fire up those beautiful engines. Shocks have just been removed from the starboard side. I'm just extracting myself from the port side wheel. Oh, and he's removing the chock as well. I didn't think they'd do that. Start up the brakes on. All clear. Starting engine. I think the signal I think he just gave was engine 3.
Happy. I'm here in the rear turret of a Lancaster bomber, Just J, and we're going to have a taxi ride. There are absolutely hundreds of people here. It's amazing. I just can't believe I'm here. I'm doing this for Ron Bacon, my friend's dad, who was a tail gunner, and I'm really emotional at the moment, so I'm going to turn off. First engine started. Just see the tail there. The glass moving. Absolutely amazing. As Mert said, it's bike night, so there's absolutely hundreds of people here. Hundreds and hundreds. incredible noise.
Only one person is allowed wear a parachute full time at a Lancaster bomber, the pilot. I can't stress just how difficult it was to be able to get into the rear turret. It's even more difficult to get out. To remove yourself in an emergency had to be even harder. As Sally said before, her friend's dad, Ron Bacon, was a rear gunner in the Second World War. He managed to extract himself from the rear turret, put on his parachute, and make his way back up through the extremely narrow section of fuselage and parachute to relative safety over Belgium. Thankfully, Ron survived and earned himself a Caterpillar badge.
Sky Ranger. GCC XH. Sky Ranger. GCC XH Sky.
If you've liked this video, please leave a thumbs up. If you haven't liked this video for any particular reason whatsoever, please feel free to leave a thumbs down. Don't forget to ding dong the notification bell, leave a comment in the comment section below, and I shall see you in the next one. Until next time, look after yourself. Bye bye.